All right, we're live. Today we're just gonna make today's daily design. And I was thinking of a pretty simple one actually. A while back, pretty long time ago now actually, I made this like bunny illustration and I've saved it. I have a JPEG of it and have never used it. So I'll use it now. Firstly, I don't want this to be in centimeters. I need this in pixels. You just have to right click on your rulers to change that. If you don't see your rulers and you're using a Mac, all you have to do is press Command R and it'll hide and show them. Otherwise, just go to View and make sure rulers is checked. This can be nice for like guides and everything if you want everything to be centered, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, that's not the point. I'll start off by making a solid color layer and I'll make this like a light cream color. And then I'll add my bunny now, which I saved. There it is. It's so cute. I don't know why I haven't used it yet. So I made this illustration a really long time ago, and then the quality of it was really bad because I scanned it in and it was just not good. And so I brought it into Gemini and I kind of like upscaled it. And the cool thing is it like maintained all the texture it had. So that's really nice. Anyways, an easy way to remove your background, since I just want to keep the darker parts, I can just, instead of going like the usual route of like select subject and maybe it won't select it properly and all that, I can just double click on the layer and the layer style window will pop up, and make sure that in the blend if current layer, we just want to move this little arrow, which is the highlights or the lightest parts of our image. We just want to bring this towards the center. And as you can see, the background disappeared already. So before, after, the more you bring it on this side, the more it's going to affect your image. So something like this works. And then all I have to do is right click, convert this into a smart object, and now I can just change color, treat it like a PNG basically. And the edges are sharp. We have no like feathering going on. It's good. Really fond of this method. I'll just make this black or dark gray for now. I just did that by double clicking on the layer. Layer style window will pop up. Add a color overlay. And now I just want to make sort of like a frame with this bunny. So maybe tilt him a little bit. Something like this. I'll actually bring my guide in just to see where the center is. Make this a little smaller. And then I'll duplicate it just by holding on the Alt key, click and drag, and it'll just duplicate that. So duplicate it, and then I'm going to rotate it. Let's do this. Right click on it, flip vertical. All right, and now I'll select both my bunnies, duplicate them, Command T to transform, right click, flip horizontal. And we have our bunnies. The cool thing about using actual real like illustrations is that you get that detail that we kind of lost a little bit, but it still is there. And we're going to add some more later on. Let me add another guide at the center and select all my bunnies and make sure they're positioned in the middle. All right. I was thinking for the phrase that I could write something in the middle. Something like, live life to express, not to impress. I was thinking about this earlier today. And I want to do that by mixing a couple of fonts as I usually do. So I'll grab my text tool. First, let me sample this color. Grab my text tool. And let's say this first part is a sans serif. And then I'll add another text over here, which I want to be kind of like a maybe script font could look cute. Let's try this one. Right? This kind of looks cute. Now we have to fix this a little bit, but I think we're on the right track. I'll duplicate the express, impress, and then I might connect these two. Let's zoom in. Looking good. I don't like this little piece that is sticking out, so I'll just add a layer mask to this and then grab my brush tool and remove it. It's as easy as that. And now this looks cool, but this font is too stretched out like horizontally. I want like a really bold font, but not that wide. Maybe a Gibson could be cool. I like this one. Gibson is one of my favorite fonts. I don't gatekeep in here. I feel like this is too close together, maybe 0. And over here as well. I'll have to realign these, but it's fine. We already have this layer mask. There we go. Once I'm happy with the composition, I removed my guides. I always do that. They really bother me whenever I don't need them. I'll make sure my text is centered, which kind of already was. Good. And then I'll remove the guides again. And I'm basically done already. I think I want to add more thickness to this serif text. So I'll just add a stroke, an outside stroke. Maybe like 5 and center it 8. How about 8? Let me change the color to the same color. And then I'll hold on to the Alt or Option key, drag it onto our other text. There we go. Now it's just time to texture a little bit. what I'll do is convert everything into a smart object, but everything but my background. I'll delete that, I don't need it. And then we can start adding some textures. A cool thing you can do is basically go to Filter, Pixelate, Mezzotint, and you can choose, instead of the fine dots, like medium lines, and it'll give you that rough looking effect. Press OK. You can see it just made it feel like a little more realistic, and then I usually just add a ripple, not at 100, maybe like 50. And sometimes I'll add a crystallize effect as well. I think that's too much. Let me lower that cell size to like 4. There we go. Now all I have to do is add a couple of textures. You can find the textures I'll be using today at the link. It's gonna be linked on my channel, linked in on my Instagram, linked everywhere basically for my like free texture packs. You just drag and drop them in there. Don't have to do anything. And then you can choose which ones you want to use. Just reduce the fill. And let's use this one. I'll Command I and invert it. Reduce the fill to about like 30. And this one as well. And then just add a little bit of grain. And I think we're done for today. This was pretty fast, but I already had the idea in mind. I'll select all my layers, convert to Smart Object, and then try to find some like color combinations that I like. You know, I like to alternate them. So I'm gonna do that by just going to the adjustments, adding a gradient map. I'll just delete the layer mask for the gradient map. And then I'll just choose the 2 colors I want to use. I want to use like that burgundy, winey color. And for our background or our light parts, I want to use kind of like a lilac color, maybe more on the bluish tone. And I need this to be darker. Something like this. You can change the blending mode to color. Before, after. I think this is a pretty cool color combination. You can obviously just click on your gradient map and change it back later. Maybe I want this to be a little more blue. All right, looking pretty cool. I'll duplicate this gradient map just to have another option. I really like my yellows and my greens, so I'll just double click, slide this down to a light yellow, and over here I'll just go with a pretty bluish tone. And I think we're done. I might add a couple more, but I think this is pretty nice. Texture is looking pretty cool. Composition I like. And I think we're done. I appreciate you for joining me for this first live. I'm planning on doing more of these, obviously. I'll try every day for every daily design, but I don't know if I'll manage. Maybe sometimes I'm like on a trip or somewhere and I still manage to create the daily design, but maybe I won't be able to stream it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow.